20,000 years ago, the wilds of Europe were no place for the faint of heart. For the young hunter Kida, a single moment of hesitation is the difference between life and death. It starts with the thunder of hooves. A massive herd of steppe bison is driven toward a sheer drop, a wall of spears forcing them into a panicked stampede. But in the chaos, one rogue bull turns. It sets its sights on Kida, the leader's son. With a savage strike of its horns, the beast tosses the boy toward the abyss. His father, Tao, strikes the beast down, but it's too late. Kida disappears over the edge, falling into the dark depths of the canyon. But to understand why Kida was there, we have to go back 1 week. Kida was never a natural killer. Among all the teenagers of his tribe, only he and his friend Kappa passed the grueling test of the spear. This earned them a place on the final hunting expedition before the winter freeze. It was a journey of ritual and pain, marked by the blows of the older men and the chants of the shaman around the campfire. Kida's mother, Ro, saw the truth. Her son leads with his heart, not his weapon. But his father, Tao, believed that survival demanded a cold edge. He pushed Kida to prove himself as they set out across the sacred path, following the ancient rock sculptures and hand-painted signs left by their ancestors. The journey was a series of failures for Kida. He couldn't spark a fire. He couldn't bring himself to kill a captured boar for food. He walked in the shadow of his father's disappointment, a feeling that only grew heavier when tragedy struck the camp. One night, a cave lion lunged from the darkness, snatching Kappa and dragging him into the night. A stone cairn was built for the boy, a silent memorial to a spirit passed on, and the tribe pushed forward. Hoping to give his son a fighting chance, Tao tattooed the stars onto Kida's skin, a map of the constellations so he would always find his way home. Then the hunt began. We returned to the edge of that cliff. Kida didn't fall to his death. He caught a jagged ledge halfway down, his legs shattering upon impact before he slipped into unconsciousness. High above, Tao screams for his son, desperate to climb down, but his men hold him back. To them, the fall was impossible to survive. As the tribe gathers their meat and prepares to head home before the snows arrive, Tao lingers at the edge, weeping in denial. He eventually turns away, leaving his son behind in the cold. He thinks he's leaving a corpse, but Kida is about to wake up to a world that wants him dead, and a journey that will change the history of mankind forever. The next morning, silence hangs over the cliff. Tao builds one final monument of stone for a son he believes is dead, his tears falling into the dirt before he turns his back on the abyss forever. Hours later, the scavengers arrive. A vulture lands on Kida's motionless body, its beak ready to feed. But Kida isn't a corpse yet. He snaps awake, wringing the bird's neck in a desperate burst of adrenaline. Reality sets in with a wave of agony. His leg is shattered. He tries to climb down, but the cliff face is slick and unforgiving. He hangs there, suspended over the void, his strength fading as a storm rolls in. Lightning cracks, and the canyon floor begins to flood. Seeing his only chance, Kida lets go. He plunges into the rising waters below, the impact knocking him into the dark once more. When he wakes, the rain has stopped. The flood is gone. He splints his broken foot, drags himself back to the cliff top, and finds the stone memorial his father left behind. In a fit of cold, lonely rage, he kicks it apart. He has been left for dead. If he wants to see home again, he has to find the strength his father thought he lacked. Kida begins the long trek alone, surviving on bugs and murky puddle water, spending his nights shivering in the high branches of trees. But the wild isn't finished with him. A wolf pack catches his scent in the open. Kida barely makes it to a tree, stabbing one of the predators in the leg as it snaps at his heels. The pack eventually gives up, leaving their wounded brother behind to die. Kida looks down from the branches, spear in hand, ready to finish the beast. But his heart betrays him again. He can't kill it. The wolf's whimpering is a mirror of his own pain. He climbs down and makes a choice that will change the world. He binds the wolf's snout, carries the heavy animal to a lake to wash its wounds, and evades a prowling pack of hyenas to find a safe cave. In the quiet of the cave, a wary truce begins. Kida uses a plant salve on his own foot and shares his water with the creature. He even uses his mother's precious fur token to clean the wolf's matted hair. But survival requires meat. Driven by hunger, Kida finally finds his edge, killing a rabbit with a well-aimed stone and, for the first time, successfully sparking a fire to cook it. When the wolf tries to snatch the meal, Kida remembers his father's voice. He stands his ground. He establishes dominance, eating first and feeding the beast only when he is done. He is the leader of this tiny pack now, Winter is breathing down their necks. With the first frost approaching, Keta gathers his supplies and prepares to leave. He tries to shoo the wolf away, telling it to return to its own kind, but the animal won't leave his side. Giving in to the inevitable, Keta accepts his new companion, training the beast to answer his whistle. Two outcasts, both broken and both left behind, now begin the impossible journey home through the snow. Their first attempts at hunting together are a disaster, a tangle of missed cues and frustrated growls. But out of necessity, they find a rhythm. They learn to sync their attacks, becoming a unified force that the prehistoric wild never saw coming. Under the canopy of stars, Keta checks the glowing map on his skin, the constellation tattoo, to ensure they are still on the sacred path. For the first time, the wolf doesn't growl when Keta reaches out. It stays. It trusts. After an afternoon of fishing by a quiet lake, Keta gives his companion a name, Alpha. But their peace is short-lived. The first frost arrives, and with it, the ghosts of the past. One night, Alpha's original pack emerges from the shadows. Keta, knowing the pain of a broken family, makes the hardest choice of the journey. He tells Alpha to go. He watches his only friend vanish into the trees, leaving him to face the rising snowstorms alone. The winter is brutal. Keta's progress slows to a crawl as he battles freezing winds and haunting dreams of his parents grieving his death. But fate isn't done with them yet. In the middle of a blinding whiteout, Keta spots Alpha and his pack in the distance. He runs toward them, but the ground betrays him. The ice shatters, and Keta is plunged into the sub-zero tomb of a frozen lake. As his equipment and his mother's fur token drift away into the dark water, Keta claws at the ice with his knife. It's Alpha who lunges forward, gripping Keta and dragging his freezing body from the depths. That night, there is no dominance, only survival, as they huddle together, sharing their body heat to stay alive. They push on, finding a lonely hut on the trail, but there is no warmth inside, only the frozen remains of a traveler who didn't make it. Keta scavenges a bow and arrow, but a dark shadow hangs over him. He begins to cough up blood, a sign that his lungs are failing in the bitter cold. The danger peaks when they find themselves hunted by a pack of hyenas. Seeking refuge in a cave, they come face to face with a nightmare, a massive cave lion. It lunges. Alpha fights with a primal ferocity, taking blow after blow to protect Keta. With trembling hands, Keta notches an arrow, focuses through the pain, and lets it fly. The lion falls. Alpha is saved, but the wolf is torn and bleeding. Limping through the storm, Keta finally sees it, the ancient rock sculpture of the sacred path. Then, the northern lights bleed across the sky, the lights of his ancestors guiding him home. But the victory feels hollow. Alpha, exhausted and wounded, finally collapses into the snow. Keta is at the doorstep of his home, but his brother in arms may not live to see the threshold. Keta refuses to leave his friend behind. With lungs burning and breath hitched by the copper taste of blood, he scoops the heavy wolf into his arms. He is a ghost walking through a whiteout, stumbling until his body finally gives out, and he collapses into the drift. But in the silence of the snow, a memory finds him. He hears his father's voice from that final night at home, not the voice of a critic, but a man speaking to his wife in confidence. He is stronger than he knows, Tao had said. Those words become a spark. With a roar of defiance against the cold, Keta finds a strength that isn't physical, it's ancestral. He heaves Alpha onto his shoulders and staggers through the final miles of the storm until the silhouette of his village appears through the haze. The tribe watches in stunned silence as a boy they had mourned, as a ghost walks into the firelight, carrying a predator in his arms. Tao catches his son, weeping as he finally speaks the words Keta has waited a lifetime to hear, "I am proud of you." Inside the healer's tent, the truth of their bond is revealed. The shaman discovers that Alpha's weakness wasn't just from the fight, she was carrying life. As Keta recovers, Alpha gives birth to a litter of healthy pups. The tribe doesn't see a threat, they see a miracle. They welcome the wolves not as beasts, but as family. Years pass, and the world changes. As the tribe prepares for the next great hunt, they no longer walk alone. Beside every hunter is a descendant of Alpha, the first of the great dogs. Keta didn't just find his way home. He changed the course of human history, proving that when you lead with your heart, you don't just survive, you lead the pack.